Snow fell in heavy, quiet flakes, blanketing the city in an almost magical hush. Christmas lights glimmered from shop windows, their warmth reflecting off the icy sidewalks. But amidst the festive glow, Alex Turner, a single dad walking home from his night shift, noticed something that made him stop in his tracks. Huddled beside a large, overflowing trash bin were two small figures, twin girls, no older than 7 or 8. Their thin coats were torn and soaked, scarves barely protecting their small bodies from the biting cold. They shivered violently, their faces pale and hands trembling. Alex's heart clenched. He had seen hardship before, but something about these girls made him stop everything. Maybe it was the way they clutched each other, like they were their only lifeline. Maybe it was the raw fear in their eyes. Whatever it was, he knew he couldn't just walk past them. Hey there, he said softly, keeping his voice calm and gentle. Are you all right? The girls flinched, pulling their arms closer. The older twin, who seemed slightly braver, shook her head. Alex crouched down to their level, keeping his voice low, his hands visible, so he wouldn't seem threatening. I'm Alex, he said. I can help you. Do you want to come somewhere warm? The younger twin's eyes widened. A tiny, hesitant voice whispered, We don't have anywhere. Alex's chest tightened. Well, now you do. Come on, I've got blankets in my car, and maybe some hot chocolate. It's freezing out here. It took a few moments, but eventually, the girls allowed him to guide them to his car. He wrapped them in the warm blankets he kept in the trunk, a small gesture, but one that immediately softened the tension in their tiny bodies. As the car's heater blew warm air into the cramped space, the girls began to relax slightly. Alex handed them 2 cups of hot chocolate from the thermos he always carried during winter walks. Drink slowly, he said. It'll help warm you up. The older twin, with dark brown hair tangled in the snow, smiled faintly, a small, fragile thing, but enough to make Alex's heart ache. Snow fell in thick, quiet flakes, blanketing the streets in a hushed winter glow. Christmas lights twinkled from shop windows, reflecting off the icy sidewalks, but the festive cheer did little to warm the biting cold. Alex Turner, a single dad walking home from his night shift, pulled his coat tighter around him. He had worked late, and now the world felt still, almost too still. That's when he saw them. 2 tiny figures huddled together beside an overflowing trash bin, shivering violently. They were girls, identical in their smallness and vulnerability, twin sisters, no older than 7 or 8. Their coats were thin and torn, scarves hanging loosely around their necks, and their little hands shook with cold. Alex's heart constricted at the sight. He had seen hardship before, but something about these girls made him stop in his tracks. Maybe it was the way they clutched each other, like they were the only warmth they had. Maybe it was the silent desperation in their eyes. Whatever it was, he knew he couldn't just walk past them. Hey, are you okay? He called softly, lowering his voice so as not to startle them. The girls flinched and huddled closer together. The older one peeked out from behind her sister, eyes wide with fear and mistrust. Alex crouched down to their level, hands visible, showing he meant no harm. I'm Alex, he said gently. I can help you. Do you want to come somewhere warm? The younger twin shook her head faintly, her teeth chattering. We don't have anywhere, she whispered. Alex felt a lump in his throat. Well, now you do, he said softly. I have blankets in my car, and maybe some hot chocolate. Come on. It took a moment, but the girls slowly allowed him to guide them through the snowy street to his car. He wrapped them in the warm blankets he always kept in the trunk, and the immediate relief on their frozen faces almost brought tears to his eyes. Once inside, he handed them cups of steaming hot chocolate. The warmth seeped into their chilled fingers, and their expressions began to soften. The older twin, who had been silently guarding her sister, offered a small, tentative smile. Alex smiled back, heart heavy with concern yet relieved that he had found them in time. Outside, the snow continued to fall, indifferent to the tiny drama unfolding on the quiet street. But inside Alex's car, a small spark of warmth, and perhaps the beginning of hope, had been lit. By the time they reached Alex's modest apartment, the girls were still hesitant but curious. He led them inside, making sure to keep the space warm and safe. The small living room smelled faintly of pine and cinnamon, remnants of the modest Christmas tree Alex had decorated earlier that week with his own daughter, Lily, who was visiting her mother for the evening. Alex placed the girls on the sofa and fetched some extra blankets and warm clothes. "You're safe here," he said softly. "No one's going to hurt you." The older twin, who now introduced herself as Emma, clutched the blanket around her tightly. Her sister, Ella, shyly hid behind her. Why were you outside?" Alex asked gently. Emma's eyes filled with tears. We didn't have anywhere to go. We tried asking, but they didn't listen." "No one listens." Alex nodded, carefully choosing his words. "It's okay. You don't have to explain everything right now. Just stay warm." He prepared a small dinner, simple sandwiches and hot soup, and the girls hesitated, then began to eat slowly. Their shyness was palpable, but Alex gave them space, understanding that trust couldn't be rushed. As they ate, Alex found himself studying the twins. There was something familiar about them. The way they watched his face, as if they were searching for kindness, and the way they mirrored each other's movements. Something in their eyes told him that their story went deeper than the cold street suggested. The ride to Alex's apartment was quiet, except for the soft hum of the heater. Snowflakes streaked past the car windows, melting into tiny rivulets as the warmth inside clashed with the freezing night outside. The twins, Emma and Ella, sat huddled under the blankets, still wary, their small hands gripping each other's tightly. Alex kept his voice calm and gentle. "You're safe now," he said, glancing at them through the rearview mirror. "No one's going to leave you out in the cold tonight." Emma peeked at him hesitantly, her eyes reflecting a mixture of curiosity and caution. Why are you helping us?" she asked softly. Alex smiled faintly, his own heart tugged by her words. "Because no one deserves to be out here alone," he replied. "Especially on Christmas Eve." Ella, the younger twin, clung even closer to her sister. Alex reached into the back seat and offered a small thermos of hot chocolate. "Here, drink some. It'll help warm you up." The twins exchanged a glance. Slowly, cautiously, Emma took the cup and sipped. The warmth seemed to spread through her small body, and for the first time, her shoulders relaxed ever so slightly. Ella followed suit, her hands trembling as she held the cup. When they arrived at Alex's modest apartment, he guided them inside. The air was warmer, the scent of pine and cinnamon filling the room, remnants of the small Christmas tree he had decorated with his daughter, Lily, earlier that week. The lights on the tree twinkled softly, casting a comforting glow across the living room. "Come in, get warm," Alex said, laying fresh blankets on the sofa. "You can sit here while I get you some dry clothes." Emma's eyes darted around the room, taking in the simple, cozy space. "It's nice," she whispered. We don't have anything like this." Alex's chest tightened. He knelt beside them, keeping his tone gentle. "You're safe here. No one is going to hurt you. You don't have to be scared anymore." Emma's lips quivered, and she looked at her sister before whispering. We tried asking for help, but no one listened." Alex nodded slowly. "Well, you're not alone anymore. And I'm listening now." After a moment of silence, he brought out some simple sandwiches and warm soup. The twins hesitated, but hunger eventually won over shyness. As they ate slowly, Alex maintained a soft conversation, asking small questions about their favorite foods, their favorite games, anything to begin building trust. Gradually, the tension in their bodies eased. Emma laughed softly at a joke Alex made about Lily trying to decorate the tree with too many ornaments, and Ella joined in with a small giggle of her own. As the evening progressed, Alex realized that this night was more than just keeping them physically safe from the cold. It was about providing them warmth of a different kind, comfort, attention, and the knowledge that someone cared. He leaned back on the couch, watching the twins under the blankets, sipping their soup and occasionally glancing at him with small, hesitant smiles. Something deep within him stirred, a protective instinct, a realization that these girls had been invisible for far too long, and that for this night, he had the chance to change that. "Thank you," Emma whispered suddenly, her voice barely audible. "For caring." Alex smiled softly, swallowing the lump in his throat. No, thank you for trusting me. And for the first time that evening, the sound of hope, fragile and quiet, seemed to fill the small apartment. After dinner, the girls began to warm up to him. Emma spoke cautiously. We live with our dad. He's busy. He doesn't have time for us. Mom, she's not around. Alex listened intently. Busy? What do you mean? Emma hesitated, then whispered. He's a CEO. Big company. Lots of money. But we're not important to him. Alex's eyebrows shot up in surprise. You're his daughters? The twins nodded. Ella's small hand trembled as she gripped Emma's arm. We ran away, Emma admitted. We wanted just one Christmas where someone saw us. Just one. Alex felt a lump in his throat. Here were two girls, clearly from wealth and privilege, shivering in the freezing cold, abandoned emotionally on Christmas Eve. The reality stunned him. How could anyone with everything forget about the children they brought into the world? Why didn't you ask anyone else for help? Alex asked quietly. Because no one listens, Emma said. We tried. Teachers. Neighbors. Even the cleaning lady at Dad's office. She broke off, tears rolling down her cheeks. We just wanted someone to care. Alex's heart ached. He had never met these girls before, yet he already felt a protective instinct stronger than anything he had felt for years. You're safe here tonight, he promised. No one is going to leave you out in the cold again. After finishing their simple dinner, Emma and Ella curled up on the sofa under the warm blankets. The soft glow of the Christmas lights flickered across their faces, revealing the weariness of children who had faced far too much hardship for their age. Alex sat across from them, careful to give them space, while still offering a sense of safety. Can you tell me how you ended up outside tonight? He asked gently, his voice quiet, calm. Emma swallowed hard, glancing at her sister before she spoke. We live in a big house, she said cautiously. With our dad, he's really busy, really important, but he doesn't have time for us. Alex's eyes widened. Your dad, is he nearby? Can we call him? Emma shook her head, her brown eyes glistening. No. He's too busy. He runs a big company. People call him a CEO. But he doesn't care about us. Not really. Ella's small hand found her sister's, gripping tightly. We tried asking him, she whispered. And our mom, she's not around anymore. Her voice cracked. We're just invisible. Alex's chest tightened. He had expected homelessness or poverty, but not this. Not two children from wealth, shivering on the street on Christmas Eve, abandoned emotionally despite having everything materially. His mind raced to imagine the life they had, a luxurious home, Christmas decorations, expensive toys, yet all meaningless, without love and attention. Emma's voice trembled as she continued. We ran away tonight because we just wanted just one Christmas where someone noticed us. Someone who cared. Alex swallowed hard. The truth hit him like a wave. Here were two children, living in a world of riches, yet experiencing the kind of loneliness and fear most children never imagine. And tonight, they had found him, a single dad with nothing but his heart to offer. He leaned forward, his tone steady, but filled with compassion. I'm glad you found me tonight, he said softly. You're safe here. I won't let anything happen to you. Emma's eyes filled with tears. Thank you for seeing us, she whispered. No one has ever really seen us before. Alex felt the weight of her words. He thought of his own struggles as a single parent, the times he had worried about Lily, the moments he had wished someone would just understand. And now, in this small apartment, he realized that for Emma and Ella, being seen was more important than any gift or celebration. He poured himself a cup of tea, then gestured toward the girls. How about we make tonight special? Even if it's just for us. Emma hesitated, then nodded, a small smile breaking through the tears. Ella followed suit, her tiny face lighting up with the first real warmth of hope she had felt in a long time. As the night deepened, Alex realized that this Christmas would be unlike any other, not because of presents or decorations, but because of connection. the kind of connection that could heal wounds left by neglect and, perhaps for the first time in their lives, give these twins a sense of belonging. Outside, snow continued to fall, indifferent to the miracle unfolding inside the small apartment. But for Emma, Ella, and Alex, the night had already changed forever. By the time the evening deepened, Alex's small apartment had transformed into a cozy haven of warmth and light. The fire crackled softly in the fireplace, casting flickering shadows on the walls. The Christmas tree, decorated with simple ornaments and twinkling lights, glowed like a beacon of hope. A few scented candles added a soft aroma of cinnamon and pine to the room. Emma and Ella sat on the sofa, wrapped in blankets, their shivering long gone. Alex pulled up a chair and placed a tray of warm cocoa and cookies between them. The twins stared at the treats with wide, almost disbelieving eyes. This is amazing," Emma whispered. We've never had a Christmas like this." Alex smiled softly, feeling his chest tighten. "It's never too late for one," he replied. To break the tension and make them feel at home, Alex brought out a few board games. At first, the girls hesitated, unsure how to play or whether it was safe to have fun. But Alex's gentle encouragement slowly drew smiles and laughter from them. Ella's tiny giggle soon joined Emma's more confident laugh, echoing softly through the apartment like music. "You're really good at this game," Emma said, nudging Alex playfully as he tried to win. "I'm just letting you win," Alex joked, earning another burst of laughter. For the first time that evening, Alex realized that these moments, the laughter, the warmth, the simple joys, were more important than anything else. These twins didn't need gifts or luxuries. They needed attention, care, and the feeling that someone truly saw them. As they played, Alex noticed something else. The girls' bond with each other was beautiful yet fragile. They mirrored one another's movements, shared whispered secrets, and offered small comforts in ways only twins could. But they had never experienced the comfort of a third presence, an adult who cared without judgment. He knelt beside them, signing subtly, a skill he had learned from volunteering with children at the local community center. The girls watched him, eyes wide, realizing for the first time that communication didn't always require words. Alex taught them a few simple signs: hot chocolate, warm, and safe. Slowly, smiles blossomed across their faces as they signed back with him. Hours passed like minutes. Outside, snow blanketed the streets, but inside, the apartment was filled with warmth, laughter, and light. Alex looked at the twins, marveling at how a few blankets, hot cocoa, and genuine care could bring such transformation. At one point, Emma whispered, barely audible, "Thank you for everything tonight." Alex shook his head, fighting back emotion. "No," he said softly. "Thank you for trusting me." Ella leaned against him, resting her head on his shoulder, and for a moment, Alex felt a peace he hadn't known in years. These girls, lost and abandoned, had become a part of his Christmas miracle. As the night drew closer to midnight, Alex knew that this evening was more than just a temporary escape from the cold. It was a turning point, a night that would remind the twins that kindness existed, that warmth could be found even in the harshest winters, and that sometimes family wasn't just blood. It was love, attention, and care. Outside, the city slept under a blanket of snow. Inside, hearts were full, laughter resonated softly, and a quiet miracle unfolded that would be remembered by Alex, Emma, and Ella for the rest of their lives. Morning sunlight spilled through the frost-covered windows, painting the room with a soft, golden glow. The snow outside glittered like diamonds, untouched and serene, while inside Alex's apartment, warmth and laughter filled every corner. Emma and Ella woke to a modest pile of presents beneath the Christmas tree, small gifts Alex had hurried to gather the night before, books, warm clothes, and a few simple toys. Their eyes widened in disbelief, then lit up with pure joy as they tore through the wrapping paper. This is amazing," Emma whispered, clutching a small stuffed animal to her chest. Ella jumped up and down, her laughter echoing through the apartment. Alex smiled softly, leaning against the doorway, his heart full. "You deserve this," he said quietly. "And more. This is just the start." The twins' tiny hands found his, and they pulled him into the middle of the living room. For a few moments, there were no words, just the warmth of connection, the silent understanding that they were safe, seen, and loved. Emma looked up at him, tears shining in her eyes. We've never had a Christmas like this before. No one really cared." Alex knelt beside them, brushing a strand of hair from Emma's face. "Sometimes, it just takes one person to show you kindness," he said gently. "Tonight, you found that person. And I hope you always remember that someone cares." Ella hugged his waist tightly. "We do. We really do." The room was quiet for a moment, but it wasn't empty. It was full of peace, joy, and belonging. Alex realized that this night had changed all of them. For the twins, it had given them a taste of love they hadn't felt before. For him, it had reminded him why he kept going, why he worked hard every day, and why kindness, even small acts, could create miracles. They spent the morning opening gifts, sharing laughter, and drinking cocoa. Alex showed them how to decorate gingerbread cookies, letting them sprinkle frosting and candy on the little houses he had baked. The twins' laughter filled the room, soft but full of life, echoing the magic of Christmas that had seemed lost to them for so long. By midday, Emma and Ella curled up on the sofa under a blanket, their small faces glowing with contentment. Alex sat beside them, feeling an overwhelming sense of peace. In the quiet moments between laughter and storytelling, he understood something profound. Family isn't only defined by blood or wealth. Family is created by love, protection, and the willingness to be there for someone when they need it most. Outside, snow continued to fall gently, blanketing the city in white. Inside, the apartment was filled with warmth, laughter, and light, a small Christmas miracle that would be remembered forever. Alex looked at the twins and whispered, "Merry Christmas, girls." Emma and Ella smiled, their tiny hands entwined with his. "Merry Christmas," they echoed softly. And in that moment, surrounded by snow, warmth, and new beginnings, Alex realized that sometimes the greatest gifts aren't wrapped in paper or tied with ribbons. They are the moments of care, love, and human connection, the kind that could heal even the coldest hearts on the coldest night forever.